Go ahead, I'll turn it over to Linda.
Okay. So, we are presenting our preliminary March financial statements today. These are very preliminary. As you know, we're undergoing our audit right now, so these numbers are so the first statement is our statement of net position. Currently, our quick ratio as of March 31st is 7.02. This is an increase from March 2023's quick ratio of 6.65. And as of March 31st, we have approximately $7.02 in current assets for every $1 in current liabilities. So it's a very good position. Current assets at year end have a balance of $61.3 million, which have increased $8.5 million or 16% compared to March 2023. Current liabilities at year end have a balance of $7.4 million, which have increased $746,000 or 11% compared to March 2023. For the preliminary statement of revenue and expenditures, there's no real surprises here. This is very consistent with what we've been seeing all year long. After 12 months, the preliminary consolidated operating income before capital contributions and non-operating expenses is $8 million. So our operating revenues ended the fiscal year 4.8% over budget and 3% over prior year. Our regular line revenues have exceeded budget expectations by 12% and surpassed prior year by 19%. Both our fixed route and our paratransit services ended the fiscal year trending higher than anticipated. The advertising and other revenues have exceeded the budget by 16%, but are underperforming compared to the prior year by 16%. This positive budget variance is attributed to the favorable performance of the RTC parking lot lease and transit advertising revenue. And the variance from prior year is attributed to our fiscal year end 2023 GASB 87 leases. This current year's entry has not been realized, as this is preliminary statements. Operating expenses ended the fiscal year 11% under budget and 2% over prior year. Across all expense categories, expenditures are trending under budget with the exception of our purchase transportation. Workers' comp is trending a little bit under, but it's pretty close to budget. I'm not going to go into any details line by line. These are the same variances we've seen and the same explanations. If anybody has any questions about any expenditures, we can do them at this time.
Continued with a positive financial report. Continues.
Our non-operating revenues ended the fiscal year 5% under budget and are in line with the prior year. Disappointingly, in March, our mortgage tax revenue was the lowest of the fiscal year. As you can see here, all counties were down. Hopefully, this is not a sign for the future. For the investment report, as of March 31st, the unrestricted operating fund totaled $14.8 million. The money market designated funds totaled approximately 5.6, and the money market investment accounts continue to provide interest rates between 2.12 and 3.5%. The total treasury bill investments include $12.3 million of board designated reserve funds and $5 million of our operating funds. At maturity, we're anticipating a return of about $239,000. Statement of cash flow as of March 31st, 2024, the general fund cash balance is approximately $4.4 million, and reserve funds totaled $22 million for total cash flow sources at $36.4 million. That's it for the financial statements. If there's no questions, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to speak to our amended budget.
Before we're going to need a motion on
Yes.
your financial statements. Tony, second. Monty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Melissa.
As mentioned by Linda last month, we were going to bring forward an amended budget to represent the additional increase in STOA. So our operating budget is presented in the same fashion. It's the composition of the subsidies for the government number is the same, the composition has changed. As demonstrated on this slide, highlighted most notably under the state, operating assistance, STOA, state transit operating assistance increased from 52 million to 53 million. That, in our final budget, we had projected a 5.4% increase, and in the governor's executive final budget, it was a total of 8.66%. So we've adjusted, increasing state and pulling back and not needing preventative maintenance and continuing to conserve that in the future years. Where you see the most notable changes is in our projections. This year, we were able to budget flat. In 25-26, in our final budget presented a few months ago, we had estimated a $4.8 million loss. That has come down to just under $1 million, and you can see how that flows through into the additional years, carrying still flat into years 26, 27, and 28. Obviously, we'll continue to advocate for SOAR to increase, but to be conservative, we do budget that flat in the subsequent years. Is there any questions?
It's nice how the original shortfall got diminished.
Yeah.
Questions for Melissa?
I think,
It's amended, so yeah, we're gonna need
Yeah.
an action on that. Tony, make a motion. Second. Neil, any discussion? Any amended? All in favor? Aye. Very good. Good job, Melissa. Okay. Jackie. Central salary defined contribution plan. Explain this to
Sure.
everybody, because this is something that doesn't come around,
good morning, all board members. So today I'm bringing to you an amendment for our salary defined contribution plan. What that is similar to like a 401A plan where we match the employee. It's the employer's portion of that match. Currently, the way we have the plan set up is we match from 3 to 6% depending on what the employee contributes to the plan. That was last increased back in 2022, where we increased it from 5 to 6%. Today, I'm asking for an amendment to the plan where we will match up to 8%. So if the employee contributes 8%, then the company will match up to that 8%. This would need a motion from the board, and the cost of that would be approximately $78,000 a year, because not everybody is at the max of that 8%.
Can you explain how the other groups here, how it works with the other groups?
So, yes, so the union plan is very similar to the actual salary plan. Our union plan, if you remember, last month, based upon the negotiated contractual agreement that we approved them from 3 to 8% match also. So therefore, if any union members match up to 8% or contribute up to 8%, the company would match up to that 8% equivalent. So we're asking for the salaried employees to be equal with the union employees.
So I understand the question, because that was important to keep all groups equal. And that was why I wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable with that.
So, round number, 2%, 10%, 20% of employees do the 8%.
I would say for the union plan, it was around 50% actually, and I would say that's probably about the same equivalent for the salaried, if not maybe a little bit higher.
It's free money, that's why.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
for people to do it.
Yeah.
But you gotta put it
Yeah.
in.
It's pre-tax.
You gotta go from 6 to 8.
Correct.
That's okay though. Yeah, again, it's still free money.
Yes.
Right, but it's reducing your take home.
And it's
And
just so
It's
Pre-tax though.
Yeah, I understand.
yes, and just so everybody understands, it's a 5-year vesting too with this plan.
So on the vesting period, does it go, so if you leave the first year 0, if you leave the second year, is it 20?
It's 5%, or excuse me, 5 years. So you have to be here 5 years in order to receive that 401
But there's no
benefit.
20, 40, 60,
There is
80.
no-
Oh,
No,
interesting.
no. So if they leave in 3 years, it goes back to the company. Into non-forfeiture.
That's 5 years employment,
Right.
not 5 years.
So let me.
That's correct,
So
5
let's-
years of employment.
Just so I want the board to understand the forfeiture. So forfeiture is the company portion. When somebody leaves, there's this money here. Their money is always their money, no matter what, 1, 2, 3, it's always their money. Forfeiture, what does the forfeiture do after, when you have that forfeiture, does it go against cost of the plan, or does it go up on a certain distribution to other,
No, so it goes against the cost of the plan.
okay,
That's correct. So it goes towards paying our quarterly fees or actually contributing monthly into the plan.
okay.
On average, a ballpark number, what's the average percentage of the employees put in?
On average, I would say that, like I said, about 50% are at 8%. I would say under that, you're looking anywhere from maybe about 5%, I would say. You know, between the 3 and the 8, so. And we've been working on that. We've been, getting more education through the doors to, let employees know that, this is their type of, this is their retirement, so,
You know, we have an obligation to do the education.
yes.
On a salary-based question that doesn't quite go with this, but I think it's an important question. I just went through something at work where we were doing negotiations and the contract was being proposed, put some of the employees above their supervisors. And I thought about a contract here. Did that happen here when we did the new contract?
What do you mean, put employees above their supervisors?
With the
I guess?
increase?
The salary level?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That can happen for the house. Yeah.
It can.
I get that, but I'm saying it was a nice contract.
Yeah.
So what did the supervisors,
So
States.
we do, so
I'm saying,
see.
compared to this day.
So with our salary grid, obviously, we have a step increase program. And based upon where the supervisor is in that program is gonna depend on what that pay is. Do they have a potential of earning more than the employees? Yes, over time. Are they at this point? They may not be because they just came in with no experience,
Gotcha.
no driving experience, none of that. So it could depend on where they're falling in that scale.
We had to move our grade, that's why I'm asking. the
Well,
question.
see,
Okay.
you know what happens too, Tony, with that? Is longevity of long-time employees sometimes, that puts them to a certain level, which that could definitely happen. The long-standing employees, okay?
Yeah.
So you ended up moving the grade level?
We moved the grade,
The whole grid
yes.
for cost of living, that's, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was so sensitive. It got a little sticky. Yes.
Okay, anything
Bob.
about this?
On the
No, that wasn't the piece.
On the education part,
Yes.
okay. Believe it or not everybody's interested in the finance stuff. And you wanna be careful not to email or send people stuff that there's no way in God's earth they can understand it.
So we don't do that, we actually do an in-person, we have people coming actually to the company to discuss with them, one-on-one if they want to. We also present it to all our new hires, we have an actual, presentation that we give to them, so.
But you wanna make sure that it can reach the entire audience.
Yep,
So you make sure that the employee can come to you and discuss this matter.
absolutely, absolutely. Usually, I know that our payroll department, Melissa has been very diligent about working on that, getting, one or two, representatives here on a quarterly basis, to discuss with the employees. We have them available for the entire day, either in the driver's room or in our maintenance break room.
Yeah, because they can say, all right, someone goes out and asks us questions on it and does not quite understand how to work it. And they're wrong for you to get out there.
We are making that available to all employees, so they just have to take advantage of
Someone
it.
has to come upon them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Any other questions for Jackie? That was good, this is a very good discussion. May I have a motion to move this forward? Luella, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, Caitlin, where are you? We're gonna talk about the Syracuse Facility Maintenance Office.
Mr. Chairman, good morning,
We haven't
everyone.
seen you in a while, I think, at the table, so.
I was here last month.
Yeah, I forgot that.
That's okay, that's okay.
All right, nice seeing you.
You too.
It's only money, so.
Apparently not late enough to see my response.
All right, so this is the resolution
Give
for
me a back, no, we got time, don't worry.
the Syracuse Facility Maintenance Office bill. This will be paid for with grant funding of federal, state, and local funds in 80-10-10 split. So this invitation to bid was publicly let on March 19th. We sent out 125 bid packages, 62 of which went to minority and women-owned business enterprises, and 24 bid packages were downloaded. We received one bid on April 16th from J. Priori Construction. They offered a bid price of $76,000. This bid was in line with our independent cost estimate that we received from our engineers. So we're looking for award to J. Priori Construction.
So it's interesting though, it's, you know, all that work and all that preparation and all that sent out, and you have one, but
I did hear from a couple of firms that they were just booked up for the summer, so.
I'm hearing that there's some labor problem, a lot of different firms like that out there.
And then shortage?
Shortage,
Yes.
yeah, shortage, yeah.
It's shortage everywhere.
Okay, so Priori, I think, did the work downstairs here.
Yes.
So we have experience with this contractor and it's within the estimates of the professionals.
Correct.
So at this point, any other questions for Caitlin? We'll move this motion. A motion, please. Neil? Second. Monty, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, good luck. And we have another resolution that came in. Resolution authorizing the chief executive officer to enter into grant agreement contract with New York State. Melissa, you wanna-
No, it's Sarah.
I'm sorry, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Where did you come from?
I was tucked away right over here.
Okay.
So this is another master grant agreement with NISA. This time it is for 5311 rural funds, and this is for projects that go back to just before 2021. So this funding we've been waiting on for a little while. It is $12,500, excuse me. And that is just for this Schedule A, and this contract will go through 2029. So each round of funding.
Questions for, to accept some money? Okay, may I have a motion? Tony, second, Julius, any discussion? All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, if I could borrow you after the meeting to sign.
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
not 20 copies either,
6.
okay. It's a tough job, let me tell you. Linda, anything
And
else?
blue pen.
Anything?
No, that concludes the report.
So I just wanted to mention something, it kind of saddens me, but, this will be Linda's last, meeting for the audit and finance. We will recognize her next month.
That's what I
She had a
say,
planned
smiling.
retirement. And, I have a lot of good to say about her, but I'm gonna hold those comments, back because she's been a stellar person in her role here. But next month, we're gonna talk about Linda a little bit more, but, But once again, she's done a fantastic job, and, we'll see you, when we see you next month for a little bit more of a recognition, which is well deserved. All right, at this point, we will conclude the audit and finance. Let's, take a few minutes before we proceed. Welcome to the May 17th board meeting today. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dan, can you lead us on the pledge, please? Could you lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance?
Me, myself?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
I guess I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Dan. Okay, a quorum is present. Next meeting date is June 21st. Well, if you remember, we were here in November, we're in June. So life's moving quick for us. We're gonna have a governance committee meeting and a audit and finance meeting, and the board meeting will be at 10. At this point, once again, we are very blessed and lucky to acknowledge one of Central's best. And I'm going to read a little bit about Dan here and his service to the company. And then afterward, I'd like you to come up along with Tina. We're going to be over at Tina for a little photo. And Dan Grace joined the Central team on July 15th, 1996, a couple years ago. Got married that year, so I remember 96. He was a part-time bus operator in Central Syracuse facility. Then October 12th, 98, when the opportunity presented itself, Dan accepted the position as a full-time operator. In June of 2019, Dan happily signed on as a call bus operator where he remained until his retirement. In his call bus position, Dan transported many customers each day, while it might not have been as many as he transported as a fixed route operator. Working in call bus put Dan in a position to truly connect with his customers. In fact, Dan was featured in a Spectrum News piece about call bus in June of 22, titled Central Call Bus Service Bringing Specialty Transit to Syracuse, in which Dan did a phenomenal job representing Central. Throughout his career with Central, Dan continuously proved himself to be a valuable member of the Central operations team. In fact, if you happen to stumble upon a conversation with Dan with management or his peers, you would undoubtedly hear words such as hard worker, reliable, professional, and personable when they speak about him. Those are big words, you know.
May I add?
Go ahead, Tina.
I have ridden in Danny's bus lots. Danny is,
We're sorry, Dan.
he is one of the kindest, most caring, goes out of his way for customers. I recall my dad rode call a bus for a short time before he passed, and every time I talked to him about call a bus, all he could tell me was the nice young man who picked him up, and they talked about boxing. Dan goes out of his way to be helpful, and I don't want you to retire. Can we renege on all of this? And every customer I've spoken to is, oh my God, we're gonna miss Danny. So know that you walk away from this position with not only a company that loves you, but customers who love you. And I'm gonna miss you.
During his career with Central, Dan could always be counted on to report to work his schedule, conduct himself in a professional manner, and provide excellent service to our customers. He could always be relied upon to train and work with new drivers. And that's important these days, passing down that legacy, okay, mentoring those people. Somebody at one point helped Dan around, now Dan's passing, pushing it forward. Teaching them all the tricks of the trade while conducting themselves as professionals and delivering an awesome customer experience. Effective May 1st, 24, following a 27 career with Central, Dan destination sign will flip to out of service when he will head south to enjoy his retirement. Dan, we want to thank you for your many years of service and professionalism. We're proud to have you as a member of our operations team for the past 27 years. Congratulations on retirement and job well done. I'm gonna have you go on this side. Okay. Show me. You're right behind Tina.
Alright, so here we go, folks. I'm ready, 1, 2, and 2.
Any few words to the group?
Yeah, sure.
Know your family here today?
Yes, yes. I have my aunt, she's right here. Yes, I have my aunt, my mother's sister, and I have my cousin, her son, Tony, right here. My other family members,
Great name, by the way.
they're actually out of town, or we're also dealing with a couple other family things also. But I want to say to everyone here, if I forget anyone's name, forgive me. But everyone, this award plaque is for everyone. When I started, first of all, I want to give a special thank you to my aunt and my cousin. Through years of making me keep going, there were times that I just wanted to just give up. Through my mother dying, my father dying, just a lot of things in 27 years that could really, really make a person say, I give up. First. Secondly, I would like to say thank you to Mr. DeGray, Joe DeGray. He's been my role model forever. I remember, and we've spoke about this, that I've called him, having a situation, called him and said, Joe, I quit. I can't do it anymore. And, Joe gave me a couple days, and, at the time my mother was living, and she said, where are you doing, in Miami? And I said, Mom, I quit. And she said, no, take your butt back to work. So I had to call Joe, and Joe gave me my job right back. I would also like to say, I think she's here somewhere, Jackie Masengo. Thank you, Jackie. Me and Jackie started around the same time, and Jackie's been excellent, very professional, and, that person, that made me, really straighten myself up, role model person. And to everyone here. I didn't write any words down, but I just want to say thank you to everybody, Josh, everybody here, just really thank you. This is very rewarding, surprising, but very much appreciated. So thank you very much.
Hey, Joe, why don't you come up Very good.
And you can come back
Call me if somebody says no. I'll get that.
I would never say no.
Is retirement ever really retirement anymore?
You're the shining example.
And that's the nice thing about, as a board member, as we recognize great people. That's one thing that I always look forward to. Great. Okay, moving on here. Our April regular minutes need to be amended. Legal services contract award should read as follows. Resolution to approve a contract award for legal services, general corporate counsel, and accident litigation to Mackenzie Hughes LLP Legal Services. Labor to Ferrara Forensic PC in Legal Services, pension to Bond, Shonick and King PLLC. Original minutes had omitted Mackenzie Hughes LLP.
No. How did that happen?
So,
Brett, how did that
I need
happen?
a motion for the amendment. Robert, second Tina. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I now need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes for, April 26, 24. Motion Tina, second. Luella, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. In our annual meeting of April 26, 2024, may I have a motion? Okay, Julia, second. Tony, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Moving on. Chris has been excused. Chris is at a leadership, staff development, engagement right now. And, but we wanted to have a meeting anyway to continue it. I spoke to him in, length this weekend on everything he's spoken about prior to a board meeting. Of course, Mick being here, but I think it's important. I support staff development. I think staff development is very important to everybody. So, senior staff reports, Jackie?
Cheers. I'll sit on it and then move it out. Good morning again. So just a little bit of an update. We have a new class starting on May 22nd, which is next week. As stated in our last board, we kicked it off with kind of new commercials out there, our new improvements with our contract renewal. So based upon that, we are looking at 23 drivers for Syracuse, 1 driver for Utica, 1 driver for Rome, 1 driver for Oswego, and 1 driver for Cuba. So a total of 27 drivers that will be in this operations class. So hopefully, I think that this is working, and we're hoping to move forward with more in the future.
That's the largest number.
It is the largest number in a while.
You said
It
20,
is.
26 or 27?
27 total. Yes, so we're keeping our fingers crossed that this will continue.
Very good.
Any questions?
Thanks, Jackie.
That's it. Thank you.
Jeff? Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Chris Tuff, Rahman Azri, and myself attended the APTA conference in Portland, Oregon. Like most conferences, you get a lot of information out of there. There's always good connections, good communication between our agencies, other agencies, and our vendors. Then there was also good sessions that was, get to hear some new ideas, solutions to problems, and see new products. I was on a panel for the Maintenance Managers Workshop, which was an all-day session that discussed various maintenance topics such as EV safety, predictive software, mechanic training, thermal events, and renewable diesel. TriMet, the agency over there in Portland, runs mostly diesel buses, and they actually did a test on this renewable diesel. They found that it was very useful and was very good. Renewable diesel is made from oils and fats such as soybean and canola oil, and then it's processed the same as diesel is, so it's almost exactly a petroleum. They determined that it was cleaner. They found that it was they had miles between service interruptions actually decreased or increased the miles, so it was actually cleaner for their vehicles, which was great for them. In addition, that is green. It's a greener fuel source. Not necessarily less expensive. Yeah. It could come down as more and more people get involved with it. So we're going to start doing some research ourselves and report back to the board on what's going to happen. Considering that we have more diesel buses coming into this year, and the useful life is 12 years, and this could be a good opportunity for us to get a little bit greener. That's all I have.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks.
So is it ever boring when you talk about that stuff? Oh, I know you get excited. I'm not.
You
gotta love what you do. You gotta love
Absolutely.
what you do. Right.
Could lower the cost, hey. It's
That's right.
Hey.
It's greener.
Watch this next conversation, Steve.
There was
Come
some
on.
Mercedes. Some diesel Mercedes. We used to run a
Thank you,
vegetable
Mr. Chairman.
oil.
Yes, I
Processed
remember that.
vegetable oil. Remember that?
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Give you an update on ridership. April 24 compared to April 23, we're up
12%, but there were a couple extra weekdays in that month. So when you really adjust it, it's about a 6% increase over previous year, which is in accordance with how it's been going the past few months. I anticipate this will continue, probably slowing down. The increase will decrease, I think, over the course of the year, but we're still headed in the right direction. Ridership is still growing, which is a good thing. Update on Rome. Ironically, Rome ridership is down. It's down about 10%. And so I expected, well, why isn't the phone ringing off the hook? Why aren't we getting complaints if ridership is down? We made those service adjustments. One of the things we took into consideration, but it's happening more than we thought. When we created the on-demand system, we gave individuals the option to do a $1 ride to our hub, transfer to a bus, and go where they want to go. People aren't doing that at all. For the $4, they're just going directly to where they need to go. So rides that used to, trips that used to be a 2-bus ride, they would drive to the hub, ride to the hub and ride to where they want to go, is now a direct option. So, and I would say, a good portion of our riders now have a 1-seat ride. They pay a little more, but it's more convenient.
Is this something, Steve, that you thought this was gonna go this way, or is this something that's changing you?
I don't really know. I mean, I think that I thought that having been here 25 years, when you tell people you're gonna charge them $4 a ride in public transportation, I get a little, but for the service, the quality of the service that we provide, they didn't bat an eye. So therefore, they're not riding to the hub. They're riding where they want to go. Our reviews are 97% 5-star. I think we have 1 or 2 reviews that are not 5-star. You talk to customers, you talk to drivers, you talk to everybody. They love the service. It is just.
We live in this impatient world. We all live in an impatient world right now. So, people are saying, "Geez, I want to just get where I got to get to, and if I got to pay a little bit more, I just got to get there."
Yeah. And with inflation, I mean, in Rome particular, there aren't many options other than our bus service. The taxi cabs are very few and far between. They're very expensive. Getting an Uber driver in Rome is next to impossible. There's almost none there. So when you look at the service that we're offering and the price point, it really is working out well. But it does affect our numbers. But at the end of the day, numbers aren't as important as customer satisfaction. And as long as the phone's not ringing and people are happy with the service, I think we're doing the right thing. So
once again, with that service, I was at a public hearing, and I thought you and Brand and company did a great job explaining it, because it was something that's different. But I think it's a great city to pilot it because of the size of the city as we grow here in larger areas.
yes, and we're planning to do a more robust marketing campaign for the on-demand service this fall, particularly trying to target maybe some of the college students who we don't see much use right now, but I think that's their wheelhouse. We want to get people to use that service. We think that will increase our ridership. Additionally, speaking from a service perspective, we are going to begin the process of really getting serious about a system redesign here in Syracuse, about looking at the way in which our buses operate. It'll probably be a year-long process of getting customer feedback, going through some data. We have brought Arcadis Group, the group that is doing BRT. BRT and the redesign really have to happen hand in hand. When you implement bus rapid transit, and you have buses that are operating every 15 minutes. If the rest of your service isn't robust as well, then you're not really making easy connections for individuals who use the routes that are not along the BRT. You can't have a BRT system run every 15 minutes and the rest of your system running every 40. That doesn't work well. So we're going to redesign the system. A lot of this depends obviously on what Jackie mentioned with regard to increasing the number of bus operators that we have on staff. Very encouraging numbers that Jackie reported. Not just that, but my understanding is that the quality of the candidate is a step up is what it had been the previous few sessions that we had. So if we get to 2 or 3 of these types of classes back to back to back, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape to go forward and kind of potentially bring back some service to where it should be and take a look at our service. It may look a little different, but I think that it's been 20 years since we redesigned the system. I think it's time to take a look at
How long would that take, you know, when you talk about stakeholders and getting everybody involved and
Well,
laying it out?
I think you're talking about a year of research, and then after the research, there'll be a feedback process. You know, we're thinking probably 2026 is when it was fall of 26 probably would be when we would try to kick it off. That would be the goal. We've got 81. It's going to mess up the roads a little bit. There's a lot going on, but I think that's a reasonable expectation.
And public input.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We've begun through the Exploring Tomorrow's Transit process. We've already begun the really base level outreach and got some good feedback from individuals. Now we need to get a little deeper into the communities and talk, get a little deeper in the weeds a little bit with individuals about what their area service might look like and how it may better serve their needs.
Excellent.
And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brent, who's going to give us an update on special projects, including BRT.
Steve, one quick
Sure.
comment, just, I probably ran into 7 or 8 people. They love the commercial.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they specifically pointed things out that I wasn't paying attention. They, and 2 of them said, make sure you tell whoever it is there that, again, the information that was presented, how it was presented, all they did.
Casey,
Yeah.
stand up.
Yeah, they again, and there was more than 1 or 2. It was
Yeah.
good people.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I've seen that spot probably 4 or 5 times now.
I think the proof is in the results.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Welcome, Rick.
Thanks. Good morning, board. Speaking of BRT, we are working on the specs for the design and engineering of our system. So while we're doing that, we're also working on the roadshow. We've been reaching out to our stakeholders in the community and making sure that they understand where we are in the process and what is coming next, that we get their feedback and we have good conversations, make sure that communication is key. So this month we've talked to Greater Syracuse Works, the City of Syracuse departments, as well as the City of Syracuse I-81 project. We've talked to NISDOT in their I-81 realm, core development about the Inner Harbor, and the Syracuse Surge Group, which is that people first strategy to prepare residents for jobs of the future. We will be visiting TNTs this summer and continuing to just reach out like Steve was talking about with the system redesign. The BRT will be intertwined with those conversations as we continue to reach out to the public. Next, we are also working on the metropolitan transportation plans. In the past, these plans, I think they're updated every 5 years. It used to be called the Long Range Transportation Plan. And because we're involved with more than one metropolitan planning organization, MPO, we are involved in more than one process of updating these transportation plans. So we've been working with SMTC here in Syracuse. We've been working with Hawks in Oneida County, working on those plans, and they also have sister plans with them, which is called Safe Streets for All plans. And so we've been sitting on those committees, working closely with those MPOs and those communities to make sure we are involved and participating in those transportation plans. And lastly, the reason I brought my computer over here is to show you a little slideshow. We had Chittenango High School here last week, not the whole high school, that's far too big. But we had a class, and let me pull up my slideshow. I think the class is called Research Writing, which is a silly name, in my opinion, that doesn't quite describe all of what this class is doing. So this class is about, it's a senior class really about on-the-job, real-world experiences, right? So there were a couple companies or organizations that the students got to choose projects that they wanted to work on throughout the semester. They chose Centro for some marketing and social media outreach. So
Working hard, I see.
So the photos that you're seeing on the screen are actually photos that the students took. This is, again, part of their class assignment, but they walked around, interviewed some employees, took some great photos of our operations here. Jeff, you can see, gave them a great tour and showed them, you know, what Centro is all about. And we really got the experience, not only to give them some real world project-based experience, but we also got to show off who Centro is, right? So super excited to have worked with, this is our second year working with,
Unique Market Davis.
I thought that was my video. This is our second year working with Chittenango High School, and just really enjoyed hanging out with the students. And I think we've seen all the photos once, but you'll see some of their work on our social media platforms too, as they've been working with Lynette and Rachel on the marketing side. So, yeah.
That's great. That's great to educate people, these other generations about this.
Yeah, it's really fun. I've worked with Chittenango High School for like 15 years, and I'm glad that they wanted to come to Centro and I came to Centro, and it's really fun to work with students. Get a little bit of a break and think about stuff from a high school senior perspective.
Yeah, let's just keep it moving.
That's it for me.
Okay, great job.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna go into audit and finance committee.
Oh, I have one thing to report on.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Just something to inform the board of. In last month, we participated in our day event, coordinated by Caitlin McCollum, who I wanted to call on to tell you about how the event went.
Thanks, Lynn. So this is our fourth time participating in an Earth Day cleanup. We clean up the community. We clean up around near our facility, right? We have grouped together with the Southside Community Group. So it's us, JMA, I never say it correctly. The Apostle. How do you say it? Thank you. Apostolic Church. It's on Portland Ave here. We have engineering students from Syracuse University. There's about 15 groups all together that we clean from our corner of South Salina all the way to, I believe, it's Valentine. So there's probably 150, 160 participants. In total, we had 50 participants from Centro this year. So we have employees, families, friends. It really is a fun time. I know picking up trash sounds like, how is that fun? We have so much fun. We walk together, joke around, and clean up the community. So I'm just incredibly appreciative of all of the employees. I have many employees that have done this every single year that we've done it, new employees doing it every year, and almost every single department, I actually want to say every single department has had someone included for at least the last 2 or 3 years. So it really is a fantastic event. Yes.
Great, that's great for
Thank you,
employees.
Kate,
And,
for coordinating the event too.
trash to me is exciting. I come from 2 families of sanitation companies from horse and wagon, so kind of like trash. Okay, Robin, I'm up here by myself trying to navigate everything today, so my administrator, so I'm trying to, every time I think the job's getting easier, it gets harder.
I thought you called on Linda.
I'm done.
I'm going back to Linda's coming, I'm coming back to her, go ahead.
All right, good morning, everyone. So the new union wages have gone into effect, which have been really well received. And, based on feedback from union members, but also based on the new class size, I think we got the desired effect. We're seeing more interest in working here, which is great. We're also working on the retroactive payments. The contract went into effect on April 1st, so we're still working through those payments, hoping to get those out as soon as possible. I want to address one comment Tony made about supervisor wages. That is a current issue that we are seeing, and we are working through the challenges there. But yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that because it is a challenge.
I'm painfully aware.
Yeah. Last month I mentioned that we signed an MOU with the union to establish an extralis in Oswego. I also mentioned that it was going well. We've worked with the union to permanently make that a thing. So we now have a permanent extra list up in Oswego through an MOA that was just signed last week. Moving on to a couple of other MOUs we're working on, mainly to improve quality of life for drivers and also improve productivity, working with the unions both in Rome and the union for Auburn as well. So hoping to come back with more on those. Centro also hosted the New York State Baitfish training in Syracuse for the past 3 days. There were roughly 30 members in the classroom. It is held regularly by New York State Department of Transportation. Baitfish stands for Bus Accident Investigation Training for Identifying Safety Hazards. It's a mouthful. Myself and 10 others from Centro were part of the training. The goal of Baitfish is to standardize the process for determining accident preventability, and it's required by the PTSB, or Public Transportation Safety Board, among other requirements by the PTSB. To be clear, preventability is not the same thing as fault. Many times a driver would not be necessarily at fault for an accident, but determining preventability, they may be determined to have, the accident could be determined to be preventable. Professional drivers are held to a higher standard, and a lot of accidents that occur would be determined to be preventable, and in this case, it's used for safety and training purposes more than anything. Outside of actual preventability determinations, the course also covered areas ranging from safety awareness to managing an accident database to mitigation strategies. So it was a really great class overall, and we also had members of the union involved with the class. It's good to have the union understanding where we are coming from when we determine preventability. So it was really good to have them involved in the process and in the class. That's pretty much it for me. Any questions?
Good report, Ron.
Thank you.
What's an MOU?
Memorandum of Understanding. And that's typically put in place before an official agreement with the union. It's kind of a temporary thing usually, just to,
And sometimes you might see an MOA, memorandum of agreement.
correct.
Very
And
similar.
that's what we signed with the union for Oswego, the extra list. Started as an MOU and we just made it permanent with an MOA. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Okay, we're gonna get into Audit and Finance Committee. Linda went over the numbers, healthy financial picture here. Continue. It's a way to, I think, move on and then leaving a legacy of money. It doesn't
Yep,
work
it's a
that
nice
way.
way to end.
Yeah, it's a good way. So I need a motion here to accept the financial statements for March 31st. Tina, second, Monty, all in favor? Aye. We had an amended operating budget that Melissa presented. We have a motion for that amendment. Neil, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Jackie gave us a good overview of the Central Salary Defined Contribution Plan 401A, where we're moving that to 8% to kind of be the same with all the represented or non-represented groups here. Need a motion for that? Well, second, Julius, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Kayla gave us an update on some renovations to our Syracuse maintenance office. Award contract to J. Pure in the amount of $76,000. All bidding requirements were done according to the law. And a motion. Robert, second. Luella, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Tara brought us a resolution for the executive officer to sign a grant agreement contract with New York State to accept some monies. May I have a motion? Tina, second. Neil, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any other,
No other action.
okay, so that concludes our Audit and Finance Committee. Under old business, I wanna make a comment. I wanna publicly thank Lynette for helping out. There's a last minute request where some of my other circles of life, Latavius Murray reached out to me. They're building the John Diaz Community Center, which I attended a function, it's about 2 weeks ago. But what he wanted to do was try to, look back at his life of taking the Central bus when he used to go to the Boys Club, et cetera, one of these community organizations. And his goal is to raise money, to build a community center in honor of his friend John Diaz in Nedro. And he wanted to really, it was a video, and you gotta get a copy of that, where children were getting on the bus, getting dropped off at a community center. It was kind of like rehashing his life. And we all know that, you know, I think a really good son of Syracuse, Latavius Murray, has had an exceptional long career in the NFL. God bless him. Okay? Running backs don't usually last that long. And he has really brought back, and when we went to the event, it was at the On Center, 2 big screens, and coach was there from the Buffalo Bills. A bunch of the players were there, and you know, sometimes you look at a player who's 6'9", 308. It's like, I thought I was 6'2", I was tall. Right. So it was a really nice. Different players were there, and it was nice because for the kids, and he's trying to get this done. But what I was proud of, and I can't thank Lynette enough, because Lynette didn't have much time to put a commercial-ready bus to get this going. That part of the video about the bus and how important I was thinking about we are to serve the community. It made you feel good what you're doing here. It made you feel good. But I know they've raised probably maybe $5 million. Okay, but this is going to be reality at some point, and I just want to thank you for. And I know it was last minute, and it was sometimes that was no time in advance, but thank you, Lynette. Thank you, and everybody else that did part of that. So that went well.
Just a sidebar, Mr. Chairman, Latavius Murray's grandfather worked for us.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Howard Wright was our revenue collection manager for many years. Yeah. Retired from here.
Yeah, that was great. It was very good. It was, boy, I tell you, it was a lot of people showed up, so it was good. And hopefully next year he has another event, and he continues to. And there was a good delegation from Oneida County and Utica that were supporting this initiative. So I thought that was good too. Great. Anybody have any old or future business? Julius?
Just remember tomorrow, we have the Community Day event on 319 West Kennedy. We're gonna have a lot of city representatives who are gonna be there. I think the mayor's supposed to have some of the staff, Senator May and different other people supposed to be there, and I think Central's supposed to have someone there too. It's at 319 West Kennedy.
And what time is that?
It's gonna start, we're gonna sleep from 1 to 5 tomorrow.
Send if you could send a reminder out to the board, please.
Yes.
Very good. All right, so at this point, once again, Dan, thank you.
Excuse me, I want to say thank you to everybody, Mr. Chairman, to everybody, thank you. Moving to North Carolina, I'll be gone, my house will be done in a couple months and start my new career. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but.
Where in North Carolina?
Yeah, down in Greensboro.
Okay.
We'll be thinking of
We
you
just
in
know how to
January.
get to, that's.
Right.
What happened to travel with Grace?
Hey.
We'll be thinking of you in
That's the
January.
idea, right.
January, February, we're gonna be thinking of you. All right. Everybody take it easy. Okay. At this point, I need a motion to enter an executive session to discuss potential litigation and to obtain advice of counsel. Made a motion, Julia, second, Luella. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye, thank you. Everybody have a great weekend. Okay, thank you for all your work.
Good job.
Okay, we're coming out, of executive session, no action was taken. We move for adjournment. Thank you and have a good weekend.
Thank you.